This is something that we thanked you for earlier for having paid homage to our colleague. And with the permission of Captain Randhawa and Captain Gupta, I'd like to tell that sometimes some of us pilots have an air about ourselves. We are flamboyant sometimes. So if I were to land in London, the first thing I'm going to ask my co-pilot, हाँ भाई, आज शाम का क्या program है? We would do something like that. Sumit, on the other hand, was a little bit more studious. He's not that over-the-top kind of person. He is a very silent kind of guy who would be happy reading the FCOM of the 777 from page, the cover to cover. Now, he had, now these are private things which I have spoken in the group with the friends of Sumit and said, look, it's time I went and told all these things on the sun. Ordinarily, I would never speak about this. Unfortunately, I feel that I'm speaking on behalf of Sumit, and I'll have to put the facts out because evidently it is some pilot from Air India who is leaking these information about Sumit in a derogatory manner. Now, just because he doesn't comply to the party-going kind of pilot, it does not mean that he's a bad person. Now, unfortunately, he had not the best of marriages. Now, that if you go by that scale, half of Jet Airways would have been, in a different country altogether. Now, having said that, post recovering from that phase, he lost his mother during COVID. Now, his father is alone, and it was his aim to look after his father because he's aging, and he is the quintessential Shravan Kumar, and he is trying to take care of his ailing father. Now, he did have a medical condition as well. He had vitamin B12 deficiency. Okay. Now, that could happen to anybody. A lot of us undergoing medicals have all these kind of deficiencies, and I don't see how that could be construed as a mental illness just because he doesn't comply to your standards of social norms. Does it mean that he is mentally not in the same correct phase? And he has been a line pilot for a long time. And please let me tell you, it's by choice that he did not take up command earlier. Because when you have to move to the 744, you need to be out of the house for about 14 days. This may not be appealing to a lot of people. Now, to say that he got his command late is incorrect. Let's go by the present. He is an LTC on the 787 with 15,000 hours. You mean Air India didn't know that this madman was flying their planes? So it's very, very, very inconsiderate of the people who made the statement. Unfortunately, that statement was picked up by an elderly gentleman and misconstrued as mental illness and passed on to the entire media of the world. So on behalf of Sumit, I am appealing to everybody, whoever that is, please wait for the complete results to come out. And Sumit is not the guy you know. It's hurting to say that, somebody you know is somebody contrary to what he was, being told by a third person who has never even seen Sumit. So that's my submission. Let's not throw the crew under the bus, please.
Yeah, I just want to recap some of the things you've said because it's the first real glimpse that we're getting from somebody on the record, into him. He was studious, silent, not flamboyant. You feel the need to speak for him because nobody right now is coming out and speaking for him. And there's somebody from within the airline who's speaking badly about him. Sumeet didn't have a happy marriage, but that could apply to anybody across professions and to many pilots and doesn't prove anything by itself. He was a quintessential Shravan Kumar. He lost his mother during COVID. He was dedicated to looking after his father. Did he have medical problems? He had a condition which had a vitamin B12 deficiency, but that does not correlate to any sort of mental health disorder as is being whispered about, especially in the Western media. and more directly by people like Captain Ranganathan. What would you like to say about Captain Sumeet Sabharwal in the end? You know, this man who's being damned today, Captain Thomas, by the world, and also Captain Randhawa, because I know he trained under you. I'll give it to Captain Randhawa for a moment and then end with Captain Thomas. Captain Randhawa?
I fully concur what my friend Sam has said. I have trained him. I have known him since last 30 years. So I have known him to be a very quiet person, non-argumentative, very balanced, soft-spoken, never drank in his life, never smoked, no drugs, nothing. A good professional. And in the training also, whatever little bit of training I did on the Airbus 310, I found him, he was a good professional. So casting aspersions without any evidences, it is painful for even colleagues like us from Air India. When we hear about him, people talking, we get upset and we get charged to take action against people who are spreading such rumors against him.
Yeah. Before I close, Captain Thomas, anything you want to add about Sumeet that you think the world should know? More than what you just told us?
Yeah. If you don't know Sumit, you don't know Sumit. So don't try to tell us who Sumit was. And forget Sumit alone. Anybody, any of the pilots, without knowing them. Now, what we are seeing in this particular investigation is people who don't know Sumit have commented authoritatively on Sumit. People who don't know 787 have commented authoritatively on the 787. People who don't know anything about electronics are, or now I suspect whether they know anything about aerodynamics. Now, all these have come together. And do you see what has happened? The foreign media has, like correctly Captain Randhawa put it, they are looking down upon the Indian pilot, which is certainly far from the truth. And that's the whole thing that I have to say. Be any crew, let us just respect their memory.
I think Captain Gupta is wanting to add something about Captain Sumeet Sabharwal. Captain Gupta?
Yes, Barkha, I've also trained Sumit initially on the Airbus 310. I was an examiner then. And same thing, what I would echo for what Captain Thomas is saying and Captain Randhawa is saying. A lovely human being.
A lovely human being today being damned for taking down a plane, and not just suicide, but actually murder. That's actually what the Wall Street Journal is suggesting. And I think to hear all three of you talk from the heart about him, about his professionalism, about his soft-spokenness, about him being quiet, a life devoted to looking after his aging father, losing his mother during COVID, coming out of an unhappy marriage, yes, a vitamin, B12 deficiency, but putting it in perspective in the context of facts is much needed at a time when there's so many whispers and so much slander.